Hi, everybody, and welcome to my presentation on men's mental health. So I want to preface this just by saying, this presentation really focuses on men's mental health specifically. It's not to say that men's mental health is more important than any other person's mental health. It's just something that I'm most familiar with, and so I chose to do my presentation on the importance of men's mental health. So kind of start with a personal story. First in therapy when I was around 16 or 17 years old, and I've only stopped for short periods of that time since. It's been something in my life that has really positive, helped me get through a lot of tough times, and keep me moving through the good times as well. I think it's a good thing to have no matter what. And of all the men I know, and this is coming from someone who belongs to a fraternity, only about three of the men that I know go to therapy. Two of which just began this semester. Is actually two of my brothers, and I'll talk about them later. As someone who's been a large part of all mental health for years and believing it to be the root of all of their health, you can't really be physically active unless you're mentally strong. I took it into my own hands to do what I could with the men that I know to improve their health, their mental health specifically, and begin to get rid of the stigma around men's mental health. Growing up, most men hear phrases like man up or grow up hair that tell young men that being a man and being emotional or depressed just don't go together. We're raised in situations that show us that we can't cry, they can talk about our feelings, that we're always supposed to be these stoic figures. And this isn't true. So when I joined my fraternity and saw brothers struggling but always having some sort of block when talking about their emotions, I wanted to give them a chance and a place to talk about how they're feeling. So I decided to begin a weekly mental health talk on Thursday nights at around 7 p.m. Usually people aren't doing as too much homework then, so I was able to kind of start something. And in our first meeting, we had just about a fourth of the chapter attend the meeting. And using research and my own experience from therapy, I put on a program that continues to have attendance. So every week we have a mental health talk, have brothers come down. They last around an hour to an hour and a half, and we're able to just kind of get some stuff off our plates, and then kind of show you guys the itinerary for what those meetings look like and what we do. This one was more of a unique one since it was our last meeting of the semester, so there was a couple things on just what we could do better. But yeah, this is something that I've been very proud of, and so through that we've also been like I said before, been lucky enough to I've started attending therapy. Everyone that's attended at least one or two mental health talks has always talked about how having that space is something they've never had before, so a new experience for them, and they really enjoy it, and they feel more understood, they feel happier, they feel closer, have a better connection with others. And I found that we all have our ways of coping with our issues, but I think that giving people a space to talk is the first step on helping their mental health, and also to finding what their real coping mechanisms are. And so it's a personal story about kind of my journey through men's mental health and what I've been able to accomplish. And so kind of moving into more the scientific sort of ways of it. One of the biggest barriers to men achieving good mental health is the stigma surrounding it. Like I touched on before, there's certain statements that are made, like man up, and men are always raised in a way that doesn't foster growth. The Healthline website brings up the models that are set for young men as we grow up, like Clint Eastwood or John Wayne in their movies. And their roles, they're always very serious, very quiet men who were always strong but never emotional. Like I said, just very stoic figures. And we were taught that the only way to be strong was to push your feelings down, when in fact it takes a lot more strength to discuss your feelings than to just hide them. And so the first step that we can take to addressing this issue, either if you're a man yourself or you have, a man in your life, I'm sure you all know some men, is to give them a space to talk about their emotions, and a chance to open up. Because oftentimes, men are seen to be ignored, or they're not always asked, especially by other men, how they're doing. And what this stigma has done to men has caused them to commit suicide three times as much as women. But only 36% of therapy attendants are men. So essentially, men are too concerned about the stigma surrounding mental health to attend therapy and are seeing very negative results. What's more, men are more likely to suffer from insomnia and abuse alcohol and drugs. And because of this, men are twice as likely to die due to alcohol abuse than women. So they're finding ways to cope, obviously not healthy coping mechanisms. And so, like finding mental health and giving them space to talk and introduce them to therapy, and help them sort of get off of drug use or alcohol use. And so it's difficult sometimes to be able to find the signs of men kind of declining in their mental health. And as I'm going through the signs of depression, things you should look out for, I'm going to put up some resources for those that suffer from mental health. You can either use these yourself, or you can give them to another person to use. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys some of these resources. Some warning signs can be changes in mood, difference in work performance, weight loss or gain. It's usually sudden. Sadness, obviously, hopelessness, some physical symptoms such as headaches and stomach issues, among other things. And I find that it's always important when talking to men that, because I'm a man as well, it's always about strength and being strong. No matter how many things are said to us, it's always, you have to be strong. But convincing them that asking for help is a sign of strength and never a sign of weakness is of paramount importance. And hopefully they'll be willing to seek the aid that they need through that. And so, yeah, I thank you guys for listening. I urge you guys to reach out, like I said, to any men in your lives, or to look back on yourself and sort of evaluate your own mental health. So thank you guys so much. Hope you enjoyed it, and best of luck on all your other presentations.